Cyberpunk 2077. So we have patch 1.2 and then a question mark, I think more from Swinny and Mike. Will this get Cyberpunk 2077 back on the PlayStation Store? So I actually went through and counted all of the patch line items that they had, and it was 509 patch line items, specific patch notes.
Damn, son.
about from version 1.2, which is all live on the stores right now. So again, Sony, just to recap, pulled the game from digital stores and PS4, PS5 back in December due to very poor performance on the base PS4 models, and primarily because CD Projekt Red unilaterally told people that they could get refunds, which was actually against Sony's policy to get refunds for games, which caused huge issues. And then Sony actually, for the first time, said that they will allow refunds on games that have been purchased already. And even to this day, if I go into some stores, they still don't allow me to buy Cyberpunk just off the shelf. Like, you have to go talk to the people at the counter about the game, and they note that the game is buggy, which is insane to me. So Mike, you had a few things to mention. I don't know if you've played the 1.2 patch or not.
No, I have not played it just yet. I was actually going to wait for the patch beyond this patch to fix the issues that the patch introduced. But I actually struggled trying to find a really good summary of the 509 specific patch line items. Because I know we had a little discussion about this offline. I value seeing a full list. It's really cool because then you can specifically see if they fixed a thing that he had a problem with. But I just want to, like, a high level, hey, give me the top 10 biggest things you guys did. Stuff like no more instant spawning cops, which I know a lot of people, was a pet peeve for a lot of people. I like to just read high level stuff like that and then go into the details of, oh, wow, you fixed this particular issue I had with this particular quest that I did one time. So I didn't really, I went through the list and stuff. It's hard to also tell what's what because there's so many like quest specific stuff that either I did the quest and I don't remember running into the bug, or I'm not up to the quest yet, so I'm not sure if that's, I would have had that issue or not. It's a really weird one in general because I still really, really enjoyed the experience of Cyberpunk. I know that it wasn't what people expected it to be. It certainly wasn't what I expected it to be, and I think it had a lot of quality issues. But I love the experience. There were so many things about it that just worked so well, and I really enjoyed what I played on PC. So I don't know. I need to install 1.2. The only thing is I'm hoping they don't fix the glitch. I didn't see it anywhere in the patch notes. There's a glitch where you can not that you need to because you get plenty of cash in this game. But there are certain cars and stuff that I wanted to get, and I'm like, man, I don't have the time to get all the cash required to get these cars. And you can sell this particular painting that I won't spoil to anyone who needs, who doesn't want to, cheat in this, for a really hefty amount, and you can keep buying it back for like a really low amount, selling it, buying it, selling it. I didn't see that being patched, so I was happy with that.
I don't know why, but you always are obsessed about finding ways to generate money in video games.
I know it's ironic, like given that I don't do that in real life. Yeah, I find so many loopholes in all these games to generate the max amount of money. Like in GTA, billions of dollars playing the stock market. Diablo selling stuff on the auction house.
Yeah, you always work it out. You always work it out.
Stuff.
You always,
but not in real life. Here I am in real life with my Povo freaking.
You should be a trader or something like that in real life. But look, Swinny might be able to summarize it better than I can. But from what I understand and I've read, they've pretty much made every quest completable now. So quests for many people were not completable, like certain specific quests. So that was a big aim for this patch, to make sure that you complete all the quests. And supposedly that is the case now. It has introduced weird bugs, this new version even, but at least the quests are completable. Is that right, Swinny?
Look, I haven't read the notes because they wouldn't make a lot of sense to someone who hasn't played the game. But one thing about this is, look, this is a huge patch, and obviously the patch notes are ridiculous. I do agree that 100% that a summary would have been fantastic for the big high-level stuff. There's obviously people out there who would have just done it for them, but you shouldn't have to go looking for that. But one thing I think it's important to remember with this, and it's exactly the point you're just making, is that this is focusing a lot on those quests. And in a game like this, there are so many quests. So there's
Yeah.
going to be so many specific things to mention for the people that are looking for that specific fix. Someone that's played through Assassin's Creed Valhalla recently and had specific issues that I was checking out their patch notes for each release. While they weren't as big as this, they were at least probably 3/4 of the size. I'm not defending Valhalla in any way either. Like, that game had a lot of issues and still does. So the reason why I like this, although it is ridiculous to look at, is the fact that the community does like this amount of detail. But I 100% agree, for the people that are looking, who haven't, let's say, purchased the game yet, and they're like, okay, I want to look at the high level changes they're making, this huge patch, to see if I want to actually get this game. Obviously, I'm not a PlayStation owner by digitally because I can't. But I'm one of those people right now, assessing when it makes sense to actually buy this game and start playing it. And I'm with Mike. It sounds like the next big patch, that already roadmapped, may be the time to do that, because who knows how far away the next gen one is. It could be 2022 at this point.
Well, yeah, and as we just spoke about, like CD Projekt and their restructure, that they want to start working on AAA titles in parallel from 2022, I feel like for this holiday, they'll want to have a next-gen version. So they might need to get the developers to crunch under their team and quality mandate and value to get it done.
So do we, because they've said that, I think it's their SVP of Business Development said that it's up to Sony, apparently. When do we think maybe that next big patch will be the time when we may see it be relisted on PlayStation Store?
What do you reckon, Mike?
I don't know. I reckon a bit after that, because I feel like if they're true to what they said, which, if I'm not mistaken, is they're going to focus on fixing the game up. And fixing the game up is a weird one, because it's not just about fixing the bugs; it's fixing the overall experience. And I think that includes pedestrian AI, police AI, things that make you feel immersed in the world. And I think that's where the game falls a little bit short. I would imagine it's after that. But what I still don't get is just, it's going to be such a massive struggle to try to get a game of this size and the complexity that it is, with all the different intertwined systems, to run on on existing generation stuff, to be able to be available again for those platforms.
Yeah,
I just don't see how it's possible.
I'm just searching now to see, and this is where a summary would be super helpful. CD Projekt Red.
There's no summary.
At what point do they address the fact that it essentially can't run on a base PS4?
Well, so that's not in this patch. And
Okay.
And the weird thing is, and you guys won't believe this, the weird thing is that in certain scenarios, the game drops more frames now in this new version than it did in the version that came out that was patched in December and January. So, because what they're doing is they're trying to re-architecture the way that it loads into, like, because the game does a lot of streaming because it's open world, right? And they're trying to squeeze the memory bandwidth on that, because it was actually making the game crash. So to me, crashing is way, way worse than the game being choppy or ugly or whatever. If games are crashing, honestly, like from a console perspective, it's almost like unbelievable. PC, yeah, games crash all the time. Even like Rocket League crashes for me weirdly every now and then, right? But like a console game crashing, I don't know. To me, that's completely unacceptable.
God, Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a funny one for me, because I feel like if this game had come out with the January patches that they had, I think it would have been fine. I think it would have passed certification with Sony and they wouldn't have pulled it. But look, Sony, yes, it's now run by more of the American arm, but they are a Japanese company, and they don't forget, man, Japanese companies. Like, they have long lists of people. And them
blacklist,
like CD Projekt unilaterally saying that people could get refunds, pissed them off so much that they pulled a game where they've never done anything like that before. And I actually think they may never let it go back on the PS4 store. And I'm almost like now kind of erring on that side, maybe, because they're just fucking like vengeful, Sony. And I think they probably look at it and go, in a weird way, in a sick way, having it as a PS5 exclusive, like maybe they look at that and go, "That's not the worst thing in the world."
Yeah, but just install base.
But they don't need they don't need Cyberpunk.
I'm not saying they need them, but I mean, if you just look at the fact that it's still probably going to be pretty difficult to get a lot of PS5s out this year.
Agree.
That there's just so much more potential, essentially because they're making the cut from each time a digital purchase is made.
Yeah,
there's so much more potential for them to actually make money if it's on the PS4.
But I guess my question then would be, why wouldn't they bring it back on after they did their December Jan patch, which solved most of the crashing issues?
Well, I think the strategy from CDPR.
Just say CD.
No, it's CDPR.
No, they don't even. It's not even a hard inflection at the end. It's project.
All right, let's not attempt to accent.
Anyway,
hey, he's like of that European area.
He's not Polish.
No, but it's basically
don't dox him.
Yeah, don't dox me. It's close enough. Let's just say it's close enough to Poland. So, what I think the strategy should be: wait another 10 years till Sony close up the PS4 store, and then it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, look. Maybe with the next patch, because this patch wasn't about performance as much as re-architecturing it and then making the quest completable, making sure things don't just hard crash.
Yes, when he needs that.
Ooh, I found Stadia-specific patch notes.
They're right at the end as well, which made me laugh. They're like the last patch notes right at the end. I don't know. So when do you think, Mike? You didn't say when you think it will go back on. I don't think it will go back on the store.
I don't know.
I don't think it'll go back on the
you
store.
might actually be right with that one.
Which I think... if it was Nintendo, it would never go back on the store. They're so vengeful, Nintendo.
So I don't know why... Yeah, I mean, the problem is they already have physical copies that they've made and sold, and they still need to support those. So it's a case of, well, what do you do with those? You're going to have to support them. But if I could make a decision... It might not make business sense necessarily, but I probably wouldn't put it back on the store.
Or you know what they'll probably do, actually, when I think about it? They'll probably do it when Cyberpunk gets released as the next-gen upgrade, and they'll bring it back on the PS4 store as well. That's my guess. So when they launch it on the PS5, as this is the PS5 version of Cyberpunk 2077, they'll allow it back on the PS4 store. That's my prediction.
Yeah, potentially. But I also think you got to think. I never played it on the PS4. I heard it's broken.
It's so bad.
But I've also had people play it on the PS4, and I know mates, kids were playing it on. Probably shouldn't be playing it because they're still technically kids, like 16 or something though. And they seem to have no issues with it, as in they enjoyed it and played it. So I don't know if there's definitely an element of expectations and stuff as well.
Well, the facts don't lie. The proof is out there.
Oh, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I think the overwhelming things that I'm hearing is that it's not right for the platform. But interestingly enough, I've also actually heard about people who don't have an issue with it on that platform. So it's fascinating, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next item. Item number 6 and the last piece of news.